It's time for the Trading Stocks Made Easy podcast. Each week, Trading Stocks Made Easy demystifies stock trading and investing so you can profit big. And now, here's the host of Trading Stocks Made Easy, the wealthy investor, Tyrone Jackson.
And welcome back. It's Tyrone Jackson, the wealthy investor, to the best stock market podcast in the universe. At least that's how I like to think of it. Episode 119, the next year. Episode 119, we're going to look at your life. Oh, I'm sorry. I wrote down 119. All right. See, that's why I need a moment. Right. Episode 199, your 1 year plan is what we're going to be talking about today. It's always so nice when I get to meet some of you live and in person and people say, I listen to every single episode of the Trading Stocks Made Easy podcast. And I've had several people tell me this year they started from the beginning and they went forward. And boy, do I thank them for that. There's some times where I am in other cities doing other things and I just can't be in the studio in LA to record the podcast. But I am so thrilled that so many of you actually look for the show every single week. Now, we're going to work on some ways, even when I'm remote, that I can still record the show. Why? Just for you. So thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. Hey, you know what we're going to do here in this particular episode, you and I? We're going to talk about your 1 year financial plan. Now, for many of you, you just want to know, when is the stock market going up? What are the great stocks to pick? How can I get rich as quickly as possible? Well, that's not really what this episode is about. You've heard me talk about wealth being a series of positive habits. Yes, yes, yes. Well, sometimes when you're creating financial freedom for yourself, it's the habits that you have to learn, not just what stock to jump in and out of. And that's what this episode is all about. The small changes you're willing to make, either in your consciousness or in your habits, that when you look back a year from now, you can say, wow, my financial life looks better and better and better, and I know what's ahead of me, and maybe I've set some larger goals. Now, one of the things that I've discovered is when you are goal setting, you want your goals to be very, very, very small. They will seemingly seem insignificant initially, but if you follow this plan I'm about to give you, 1 year from today, you'll feel instantly more confident, more knowledgeable, and more like yourself. Now, what do I mean? Well, if you look at who you are, you have to ask yourself a couple of questions. Am I where I want to be financially in my life? Do I have the kind of financial freedom that I've been thinking of? And if you don't even have a goal, do you have a goal? Okay, so I'm going to show you, just by focusing on just a few things, how you can radically change your life. And they're all really small habits. Are you ready? And I'll just say this before I jump into them. I like to think of them as small wins, not just habits, right? Because people who are very, very wealthy win a lot in big and small ways. So as you're listening to this episode today, I'm going to ask you to resist the urge to be negative. Oh, Tyrone, I really don't want to do that. That doesn't seem like that's a big deal. Instead, as always, I'm going to ask you to keep an open mind, because when you put these small win strategies in place, you feel better, you have clarity of mind, and your life and the stage that is your life is set for success. Are you ready? Okay. So you'll find most of these adjustments that I'm asking you to do, these activities I'm asking you to engage in, they're all free, right? Because they're in line with a millionaire's mindset. So let's get started. One of the first things that I want you to think about, a small win, is organizing your financial life. Now, we live in a world where everybody has a different username and password for this thing and that thing. Well, how about if you just organize the usernames and passwords to your checking, your savings, your life insurance policy, your 401k, so that you are able to get in and out of these accounts online quickly at a moment's notice. Now, before you start to organize your usernames and passwords, you have to write everything down that affects your financial life, right? Right. So, do you have one or more checking accounts? You should know that. How do you get in and out of those checking accounts quickly if you need to? Do you have an account that is just a savings account? Now, we talk a lot here about investing in the stock market, but there's a difference between saving money and investing money. Typically, this is the traditional view. Your investments are something that you're looking forward to paying off for you in a different time horizon. So, for example, if I have an online trading account, right, and I'm actively trading stocks, in this program, we take our covered call income, our volatility trades, and we buy more shares of stocks that we want to own for the long term. So, if you're actively trading in the stock market, that account should have a goal. Hey, maybe 3 years from now, I'd like to own 700 shares of Apple stock. It's my favorite Dow component. Right? So your trading account, when you're setting goals, it's all about the future, not right now. There's another account that we don't talk about on this show very often, but I want you to think about it, and that is your savings account. In other words, when you get a paycheck and cash comes in, how much money is going into an account almost automatically without you having to think about it for your rainy day fund, or as I like to think of it, unexpected expenses. I'll give you an example. You know by now that I live in multiple cities, right? So all of a sudden, my favorite car to drive in Los Angeles is the Range Rover. I just like the way it looks. I always joke with people and they say, it's just a car to get you around. I was like, yeah, but I love getting out of that particular car because I look so good getting in and I look so good getting out, right? So I'm speeding down the highway not too long ago, and I had to put some coolant in the engine, and I noticed that I had to put coolant in every 7 days. So anybody who knows anything about automobiles, if you're having to put coolant in every 7 days, you have a leak somewhere, right? But I was living this really busy lifestyle, and I'm noticing that the coolant, which is about $30 every time I have to put it in, I can't find anything on the ground. I don't see a leak, except in certain locations. So this leak seems to happen once every 7 days, and then the coolant comes out. Well, I take it to the dealer, and they inform me that I have several leaks and that several hoses are about to go. So if I'm seeing 2 or 3 leaks now, probably within 30 days, I'm going to see more of the hoses go. And I say, well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to drop this car off to you because I have to fly to New York. You guys fix it while I'm in New York. When I get back to LA, you'll give me the bill. Now, if you are like me and you like these German cars, you know it's not like owning a Toyota, right? So while I'm in New York, they call me and they say, hey, Mr. Jackson, we found the source of the leaks and we have to change them all, or else you're going to come right back here in the next 60 days as all of these leaks kind of reveal themselves. And I said, well, give me an oil change at the same time. Now, you got to remember, this is a little bit of a high-end car, right? So I said, can you call me back on Friday? Because I'll be flying back into Los Angeles, and tell me what the bill is. They call me back on Friday, and it's $4,700. Now, did I see that bill coming? Yes, I'm the wealthy investor, but did I want to pay $4,700 for a leak, oil change, and some maintenance items? The answer, of course, is no. Did I see that coming? Not at all. Did I have the money to pay it? Yes. Why? Because every time cash comes in, it goes to a designated account that is designed in my life in case something goes wrong. Right? There's always cash I can immediately tap. And this is not in the stock market. It's always somewhere. Why? Because we're all going to have some unexpected expense that we just didn't see coming. And it happens every year like clockwork. So why not have an account for that? Right? I was talking to a friend of mine and she was really twisted out of shape. And I said, what's wrong? She goes, oh, our dishwasher went out. And my husband and I have to get a new dishwasher. This is crazy. I said, well, how old is your dishwasher? 9 years? Wait a minute. You mean in 9 years, you plan for the dishwasher to run forever? And you never said there'll be a day when we'll come home and the dishwasher? No. So the financial shock of having to go get another dishwasher disturbed her the whole weekend. So I didn't want to be the wealthy investor in front of her and tutor her about her expectations financially, but I did do it anyway. I was like, hey, what's your household budget for your dryer, your washer, your air conditioner, all the things that are going to go out in the next 52 weeks or the next 24 months? Well, I don't know, Tyrone. I just expected everything to work. No, things just don't work, gang. We have to plan for them. So one of the things I'm asking you to think about over the next 52 weeks is, where is your rainy day savings fund? So when your Range Rover goes down, you'll have the $4,700 to pay for it. Expect things in your life to happen, gang. Expect unexpected financial challenges or experiences or surprises. Now, what is the best way to prepare for them? To have a fund. Even if only $100 a week went into a separate savings account, so that when that unexpected item comes up, you'd be able to service, that is a positive step forward. That is a small win. Does that make sense? Right. So $100 a week, $400 a month going into account in 10 months, is $4,000. You'll have the cash. Now remember, that savings account, totally different from your active trading account. Okay? So small win number one, always have a savings account for unexpected expenses that are going to happen. Learn to expect the unexpected. Number two, have a serious financial discussion with your spouse or partner. I cannot tell you how many couples I run across and they never talk about money. They don't talk about their retirement. They don't talk about their goals for the next 30 days. They don't talk about their goals for the next 60 days. They don't talk about some sort of savings account for what? Next year's vacation? Shouldn't you be putting money away right now so that next year's vacation can be of a higher level? This is all part of planning. Now, it's okay. We didn't learn this in high school. We didn't learn this in college. But wealth is a series of positive habits. And the habit that I'm asking you for, or the habit that I'm asking you to develop, is to expect that you may want to take a 5-star vacation next year and start planning for it now. If you're in a relationship, it's not enough to have one financial discussion with your partner. You need to have a series of discussions throughout the year. So I know couples who actually put it on the calendar. Hey, the first Friday of the month, we're going to talk for 20 minutes about what we want to happen over the next year. You see, wealth is in your consciousness. To be comfortable financially should always be part of your goal as you live your life. And when it becomes a habit, you'll be a happier person, less stressed when things go your way, or when great financial opportunities suddenly appear. Maybe someone's going to invite you somewhere next year, and they say, you can have my place in Cancun for free. Don't you want to say, hey, let us give you $500 to $1,000. It's in our vacation fund anyway, and we just wanted to make sure that you're taken care of, even though you're offering us this great opportunity, right? So your wealth really is in your thinking, and it's also in your planning. Does that make sense? All right. Now, the other thing that I'm going to ask you to do is to check on these things that we don't traditionally think of as investments, like life insurance. If you don't have a term life insurance policy on yourself, something is wrong. That is planning for the future so that, as they say in the insurance world, if something happens to you, the other people in your life won't be financially burdened, right? It breaks my heart every time I am on Facebook or some social media platform and someone says, hey, we have to collect money for such and such who unexpectedly departed. That means that that person didn't have funds and that their family could be burdened with their absence. And let's just be honest, as wealthy investors, we don't want that to happen to us, right? Wealth is a series of positive habits. Maybe your job is just to find out how you can get a $99 a month term life insurance policy within the next 7 days so that something happens to you, someone gets that money, and your family is not burdened. Does this make sense? See, most of these things are just small wins or small habits that make a big difference to your peace of mind on a daily basis. And if wealth is nothing more than a series of positive habits, you can check your life insurance policy, you can set up a separate savings account for unexpected expenses, and you can surely plan to have a series of financial discussions about your mutual goals with your spouse and your partner. And if you have a partner who doesn't take finances seriously, trust me, it's going to impact your life in the next 52 weeks. Back in a moment.
Want to increase your stock market trading profits? Then you need to start your monthly membership to WITradeschool.com right now. Don't understand how to write covered calls for monthly income? No problem. Simply review Tyrone's latest stock trades in our video library as many times as you need. WITradeschool.com is all about helping you get the financial education you need to earn money in the stock market and change your financial life. Tyrone Jackson, the wealthy investor, has helped his students earn thousands of dollars per month trading stocks online from home. These are people just like you. So what are you waiting for? Follow Tyrone Jackson's red-hot stock trades and investment strategies today. Don't wait. Start your monthly membership at WITradeschool.com right now.
Hey, it's Tyrone Jackson, Wealthy Investor again, and I just wanted to remind you that if you enjoy listening to the Trading Stocks Made Easy podcast, be sure to share it with your friends all across social media, including Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. If you enjoy hearing about success principles that inspire you, as well as interviews with some of my most successful students, I want to remind you it's right here at the Trading Stocks Made Easy podcast, wherever you get your podcast. And make sure you download as much free material as you want at thewealthyinvestor.net. I'll see you there. How many times have you seen a commercial that's all about financial planning and they tell you need to sit down and talk to a financial planner? Well, today's show is all about you having a financial plan, you setting small financial goals that turn into big wins down the line. And by the way, if your parents never taught you how to set financial goals, well, you're going to have to parent yourself in that way and learn how to grow up and change your life. Now, what I love about financial change, money is sometimes just data, it's information, right? It goes where you tell it to go. Send that $100 a week over to my savings. You could have it shifted over, or every Friday you can shift it over yourself. It doesn't matter. $400 a month is $400 a month, which turns into $4,000 in emergency funds every 10 months, right? What if we also had a vacation account that, let's say, was $200 a month, right? At least we have $2,000 we know has been earmarked for what? Our vacation. Now, some of you have even higher numbers, right? And you never make a plan for your income tax refund. Right? And I've been talking about this one for years. Your income tax refund, gang, is savings or investment capital. Now, I know it's money that you paid out to the government, and if you've overpaid, they're sending it back to you. But here's the question. What is your plan for that? Now, we're going to shift things here just a little bit and go over to the trader side of things, because everybody likes making money in the stock market using my method, selling covered calls volatility, but very few of my students actually plan for taxes. Now, if you're sitting at home and you're trading and you're making over $2,000 a month trading online, you know that at least a third of the $2,000 you have to pay to the government, right? So right now in the month of December, are you planning? Have you planned for what your tax bill is going to be March or April? See, a lot of us like just trading and being active and saying, look at the money I made in the market, but we're not prepared for the responsibility that goes along with paying taxes. And let me tell you this, and I speak from personal experience. When you become a six-figure trader, your taxes get larger and larger and larger. When you become a seven-figure trader, you make over $1 million trading, your tax bill, I'm telling you right now, is going to be at least $300,000. If you don't have a plan in December of this year for where that $300,000 is going to, you are going to be very angry and upset come April. So part of wealth is responsibility. If you have a sense of how much money you've made in the market this year, and every major platform, whether it's Schwab or TD Ameritrade, has what they call a gains keeper section. So you can look in right now and see how much money you've made in the market this year, take a third of that and put some money aside right now, because you're going to have to pay that bill within the next 13 weeks. I can't tell you how many people go, Tyrone, I made a lot of money this year. I'm a six-figure trader. I made over $100,000, but man, $30,000 went to taxes. Right. That's part of the game that we play, is to make money. But in the United States of America, we do have to pay those taxes. Okay? All right. So this next small step is really important. Add up your trading profits on a monthly basis and transfer 10 to 30% of that out of your account into a separate account, out of your brokerage account into a separate account. Why? You want that tax money sitting there so that when your uncle, your Uncle Sam, sticks out the hand, you can actually pay them on time. Now, I will tell you this from personal experience. There's some years when I have done extremely well in the market, and the money was coming in so fast, I didn't put enough away for the tax man. And you don't want to tangle with the United States government when you owe them hundreds of thousands of dollars, because they tack on all these penalties. So that's just an indication to me like, I had to get better at my skills. And as I said to the representative from the IRS, who they assigned to me, by the way, I said, I'm but a simple man who trades in the stock market. And I forgot that the IRS would Google me and find out who I am. And they said, there's nothing simple about you, sir, and we have your returns. We want this money with penalties. Now I accept that because, I come from a working class background, raised by a single mother. I didn't really understand how serious the IRS can be when they really want their money. But let me tell you something. I have learned that lesson. So this is not one of those holier than thou tips. I'm giving this to you because I've actually lived through this. So every single month, take an estimated amount. You should be able to calculate what 30% is of the money that came in and move it to a separate account. Now, for those of you who are a little bit more advanced and trade in a corporate account, you'll have to do the same thing in your corporate account. Set some money aside for taxes, because every time we trade, we're making money that is taxable. So tracking your profits on a monthly basis, really good. Some of my students use spreadsheets to do that. But I like adding everything up on a monthly basis because I never know what city I'm going to be in, and that works for my lifestyle. Number 2, some of you are not keeping track of these dividends, and I keep telling you that when you receive an Apple dividend, that is income. So I've taken to asking my students, how much did you take in dividends every single month? Right? Because dividends are a form of residual income, and they get deposited into your account, or you can have those dividend checks sent home. That is real income. So some people are like, once every 3 months I get a $1,500 check from Apple. That is income, gang. What I love about the dividends, you can get really creative here. You can say, if I get a $1,500 dividend from Apple, I'll take $500, put it in my special tax account. I'll take the other $1,000, and that goes where? Into my vacation fund. You mean Apple stock can actually pay for your vacation once every quarter? Well, think about it. If you're taking in $1,000 in Apple dividends every quarter, there are 4 quarters in a year, you can now take an upgraded vacation because Apple gave you the $4,000 to do it. You get how this goes? Right. Small steps, big wins. Why shouldn't your dividends pay for your vacation? And let me tell you something. It is the nicest feeling in the world when you take a dividend vacation. You know you're doing something that most people don't do in life, which is your own financial planning. So, keeping records. And then the final tip here, if you're already trading in the stock market, why don't you set some goals for some new trades? So we know 2022 wasn't the most bullish market. It was really a market for spreads, cover calls and spreads. And of course, you got the dividends along the way. Why don't you set a goal here in the next 52 weeks to get better at spreads trading? Not every single market is bullish. And when you find yourself challenged, why don't you accept the challenge of furthering your financial education? You see, these are all choices that are made in your mind that turn into habits. Why do I encourage you to employ all, not some, all of these choices? It's so that when you look back 1 year from now, you feel better. You've had a vacation courtesy of dividends. You don't have a tax bill. And you notice your long-term savings account growing, your vacation account growing, and you've set some goals inside your TD Ameritrade trading account. How would you feel if you employed all of these strategies and had a monthly discussion with your partner about what your goals are? Now, I want to say one other thing about this monthly discussion with your partner. It doesn't all have to be work. Maybe you guys are going to talk about where you want to go on vacation and have the stock market pay for it this year. Do you know how good that feels? Your mind focuses on the data that you put in it. What you focus on most in your consciousness multiplies, it grows. So managing money isn't just all work. You can manage a lot of fun in there, right? Because if you knew you can get a new automobile every 3 years, courtesy of the stock market and good financial planning, how would that feel? Life is to be enjoyed, but we must have a wealth consciousness in order to get the most out of this life that we've been given. Hey, this is Tyrone Jackson, the Wealthy Investor, saying, I know you found some value in this particular episode. Share it online, share it on social, share it with a friend, because we can all be angels in this life. I'll see you right back here on the next Trading Stocks Made Easy.
You've been listening to the Trading Stocks Made Easy podcast. Be sure to rate and review our show on iTunes. While you're on iTunes, be sure to click the subscribe button and you'll automatically receive our next episode.